The first rule Victor Romano gave Maya was simple. Never ask questions. He didn't raise his voice when he said it. He didn't threaten her. He didn't even look angry. Victor stood by the tall glass window of his penthouse, hands behind his back, watching the city lights pulse beneath him like a living thing. From that height, the world looked small, manageable, as if everything below already belonged to him. Maya sat on the edge of a leather couch that felt far too expensive for someone like her. Her hands were folded tightly in her lap, fingers pressed together to stop them from shaking. People who ask questions, Victor continued calmly, usually end up with answers they can't survive. His voice was controlled, smooth, the kind of voice that didn't need to be loud to be obeyed. Maya swallowed. She nodded once, slowly, to show she understood. But understanding something didn't mean it was easy to live with. She hadn't planned on waking up in his world. One moment, she had been walking home under the yellow glow of streetlights, her mind heavy with unpaid bills and quiet fears she never spoke aloud. The next moment, sirens, shouting, the sound of running feet behind her. And then darkness. Now she was here, in a place where silence felt heavier than noise. Maya's eyes drifted to the corners of the room. Two men stood near the entrance, dressed in black, their expressions empty. Not guards who looked bored or impatient, guards who looked trained. Still, watching everything. She shifted slightly on the couch. Immediately, one of the men's eyes flicked toward her. Her chest tightened. Victor noticed. "Relax," he said without turning around. "If you were in danger, you wouldn't be sitting there." That was somehow worse. Maya took a breath. Then another. Her voice came out softer than she intended. "Why am I here?" The room went quiet. The city outside kept glowing. Traffic kept moving. Somewhere, people laughed, argued, lived normal lives. Victor turned slowly. This was the first time he really looked at her. Not like a man looks at a woman. Like a man evaluates a problem. His eyes were dark, sharp, calculating. They moved over her face, her posture, the faint bruising on her wrist she hadn't noticed yet. "You were in the wrong place," he said. "At the wrong time." Maya's fingers curled into her palm. That doesn't feel like an answer. A pause. The guards tensed slightly. Victor studied her for a long moment. Then, something unexpected, he smiled. Just a little. "That," he said, "was a question." Her stomach dropped. "I told you not to ask questions." Maya felt heat rise to her face, but she didn't look away. "I didn't ask about you," she said carefully. "I asked about me." Silence. For a moment, she thought she had made a terrible mistake. Then Victor walked closer. Each step felt deliberate, heavy, like the air itself shifted to make room for him. He stopped a few feet away. "People like you," he said quietly, "don't usually speak like that in my house." Maya met his gaze, her heart pounding. "People like me don't usually wake up surrounded by armed men." The tension stretched thin. Then Victor exhaled slowly. Interesting. That was the word written all over his face. He turned away again, back to the window. "You're here," he said, "because someone wanted you dead." Maya's breath caught. "What?" Victor raised a hand, stopping her before she could say more. "Careful," he warned. "You're already on thin ground." Her mind raced. Someone wanted her dead? She wasn't important. She wasn't powerful. She was invisible. Or at least, she thought she was. "Who?" she asked before she could stop herself. The room went cold. Victor turned sharply this time. His eyes hardened. "That," he said, "is your last free question." Maya's heart sank. He walked closer again, his presence overwhelming now. "You're alive because I decided you were useful," he continued. "For now. Useful." The word echoed in her head. "And what happens?" she asked softly. "When I stop being useful?" Victor leaned down slightly, lowering his voice so only she could hear. "Then," he said, "you disappear." Maya felt a chill crawl up her spine. This wasn't protection. It was a pause. A waiting room between life and death. Victor straightened and nodded toward the guards. "Show her the room," he said. "She doesn't leave the floor. She doesn't make calls. And she follows the rules." One of the guards stepped forward. Maya stood slowly, her legs unsteady. As she followed the guard toward the hallway, she glanced back once. Victor was already on his phone, speaking in a low voice she couldn't hear, his face unreadable. And for the first time since waking up, Maya understood something clearly. She wasn't a guest. She was leverage. Maya's room didn't look like a prison. That was the first thing that unsettled her. The walls were soft gray instead of white. The bed was wide, neatly made with crisp sheets that smelled faintly of detergent and something expensive. Floor-to-ceiling windows revealed a slice of the city far below, glowing and alive. Too alive. It reminded her of everything she wasn't allowed to touch. The guard who escorted her inside didn't say a word. He simply gestured once, then stepped back into the hallway as the door closed with a quiet, final click. Not a slam. A seal. Maya stood there, listening. Silence again. She crossed the room slowly, testing the floor with each step as if it might give way. When she reached the window, she pressed her palm against the glass. Cold. Solid. Unforgiving. So this is what useful looks like, she murmured. The rules arrived an hour later. Not spoken. Printed. A thin folder lay on the table when she turned around. She was certain it hadn't been there before. Her pulse spiked. She opened it carefully. Romano House rules. Do not leave the floor without permission. Do not speak to staff unless spoken to. Do not touch anything that does not belong to you. Do not ask questions. Do not attempt contact with the outside world. Maya stared at the list. 5 rules. Simple. Clean. Absolute. Her eyes lingered on Rule 4. Do not ask questions. A humorless laugh slipped out. Too late for that. She closed the folder and set it aside, her stomach tightening. Rules like these weren't meant to be followed forever. They were meant to break you first. Time moved strangely after that. Meals appeared without warning. Expensive food she barely touched. Water bottles replaced themselves when she wasn't looking. Her phone was gone. She hadn't even noticed when it had been taken. No clock. No calendar. Just the light shifting across the room and the city outside continuing on without her. She slept badly. Every sound woke her. The soft whir of the vents, distant footsteps, the hum of electricity in the walls. Each time she opened her eyes, she expected to see someone standing over her. No one ever was. That was worse. On the 3rd day, she thought it was the 3rd, Victor returned. She sensed him before she saw him. The air changed. The door opened without a sound, and there he was, dressed in dark slacks and a crisp shirt, jacket draped over one arm. He looked like a man who belonged exactly where he stood. Maya rose from the edge of the bed, forcing herself to stay still. Sit, Victor said. She obeyed. He moved around the room slowly, not touching anything, as if everything already belonged to him, including her. His gaze flicked to the untouched food tray, the neatly folded clothes laid out on the chair. You're not eating, he noted. I am, she said. It wasn't entirely a lie. Victor's eyes narrowed slightly. That was almost a question, he said. Maya clenched her jaw. Almost. He stopped in front of her. You've been quiet, Victor continued. Most people aren't. Maya looked up at him. Most people don't know when silence is safer. For a moment, she thought she'd misjudged him. Then he smiled again. That same small, dangerous smile. Good, he said. That means you're learning. He reached into his pocket and placed something on the bed between them. A photograph. Maya's breath hitched. It was her, standing outside her apartment building, bag over her shoulder, head down, unaware, taken from across the street. Another photo followed. Her at a bus stop, at the corner store, on the phone, laughing at something she couldn't remember anymore. Her chest tightened. How long? She asked, then froze. Victor didn't correct her. Long enough, he said. Her hands trembled as she stared at the images. I don't know these people, she whispered. I didn't do anything. I know, Victor replied calmly. That's why you're alive. She looked up sharply. That doesn't make sense. It does, he said. You were collateral. The word landed hard. Someone sent a message, Victor continued. You were in the way. Maya swallowed. And now? She asked, barely above a whisper. Victor leaned closer. Now, he said, you're bait. Her heart pounded. No, she breathed. You said I was useful. He straightened. I don't lie, he said. I reframe. He turned toward the door. For now, he added, you follow the rules. You stay visible. You do exactly what you're told. The door opened. And if I don't? Maya asked. Victor paused without turning around. Then the people who want you dead, he said, won't have to wait. The door closed behind him. Maya sat frozen on the bed, the photographs spread out in front of her. Collateral. Bait. Leverage. 3 words. 1 truth. She picked up the first photo, the one of her outside her building. On the back, written in black ink, was a date. Tomorrow. Maya's breath caught. For the first time since waking up in Victor Romano's world, She understood the real rule. She wasn't supposed to survive this. And she had exactly one day to change that. The first rule she breaks is the one that saves her. Maya didn't sleep at all. She lay on her back, staring at the ceiling as the city bled through the windows in shifting shades of gold and gray. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw the date on the back of the photograph. Tomorrow. Victor hadn't needed to say more. Tomorrow wasn't a deadline. It was an event. She got out of bed just before dawn. The light was thin and pale, cutting through the room like something sharp. She moved quietly, aware of the cameras she was sure existed even if she couldn't see them. Rule 1. Do not leave the floor. Rule 4. Do not ask questions. Rule 5. Do not attempt contact with the outside world. Maya broke Rule 3 first. She opened the dresser. Inside, beneath neatly folded clothes that weren't hers, she found a small velvet box. Jewelry, maybe. Something expensive. Something traceable. She closed it. Too obvious. Her fingers brushed something cold at the back of the drawer. Metal. Her breath stilled. She pulled it out slowly. A phone. Old. Unremarkable. The kind of phone no one missed. Her pulse thundered. Rule 5 shattered in her mind. She didn't turn it on. Not yet. She waited. Listened. Counted footsteps when they passed her door. Not guards. Staff. Their steps were lighter. Faster. She learned the rhythm of the floor that way. Victor's world ran on patterns. And patterns could be broken. When the knock came, it startled her anyway. A soft knock. Polite. Maya. Not Victor. A woman's voice. Maya hesitated, then opened the door a few inches. The woman standing there wore a simple black uniform. No weapon visible. Hair pulled back tight. Her eyes flicked past Maya, scanning the room automatically. Breakfast tray in hand. Eat, the woman said quietly. Not unkindly. Maya nodded and stepped back. As the woman entered, Maya caught her name stitched into the fabric of her uniform. Elena. Elena set the tray down and turned. To leave. Maya's heart raced. This was it. The rule. Wait, Maya said. Elena froze. They both knew what had just happened. Elena turned slowly. Her expression was controlled, but something nervous flickered in her eyes. You shouldn't speak to me, she said. I know, Maya replied. Her voice shook despite her effort. I won't ask questions. That made Elena blink. Maya took a step closer, lowering her voice. I just need to tell you something. Elena hesitated, then leaned in just enough to hear. Tomorrow, Maya whispered. Something is going to happen to me. Elena's jaw tightened. You don't know that. I do, Maya said. And if I disappear, they'll say it was nothing. That I never mattered. Elena's eyes flicked to the door. They don't like when people matter, she murmured. Maya swallowed. If you ever wondered what happens to the people who live here and then don't, Maya continued softly. I might be one of them. Silence stretched. Then Elena straightened. I can't help you, she said firmly. Maya nodded. I know. Elena picked up the tray again. But as she turned away, her hand brushed the edge of the bed. Something slipped from her fingers. A folded napkin. She didn't look back. The door closed. Maya stood frozen for a long moment. Then she unfolded the napkin. 2 words, written in hurried ink. Laundry chute. And beneath it, a time. 2:10 a.m. Maya's breath caught. Someone else was breaking rules. Night felt like a held breath. Maya forced herself to eat. Forced herself to lie still when the lights dimmed. Forced herself not to look at the phone hidden beneath the mattress. At 2:05 a.m., she stood. At 2:09, she was at the door. At 2:10, it opened. Not fully. Just enough. Elena stood there, eyes dark with urgency. No questions, Elena whispered. Maya nodded. They moved quickly down the hallway, past doors Maya had never seen open. The building felt different at night, emptier, more dangerous. They stopped in front of a narrow metal door at the end of the hall. The laundry chute. Elena opened it. Darkness yawned below. You go now, Elena said. I'll delay them as long as I can. Maya's chest tightened. Why are you doing this? She asked. Elena's lips pressed together. Because tomorrow, she said quietly, it won't be you. Before Maya could respond, Elena pushed the door wider. Footsteps echoed somewhere behind them. Fast. Go, Elena hissed. Maya didn't hesitate. She climbed inside and let go. The fall was violent. Her shoulders slammed into metal. Her breath punched out of her lungs. The world spun and shrieked as she tumbled down, scraping skin and fabric, until impact. She lay gasping in the dark, pain radiating through her side. Above her, the chute slammed shut. Silence. Then, sirens. Not outside. Inside the building. Maya dragged herself to her feet, clutching the phone as it dug into her palm. She was bleeding. She was alive. And for the first time since Victor Romano looked at her like a problem to be solved, she was no longer waiting. The man who owns the city does not like to lose what's his. The laundry room smelled like soap and heat and panic. Maya staggered forward, bracing herself against a humming industrial washer as pain flared through her shoulder. Her knees threatened to buckle, but she forced herself upright. No time. Sirens wailed somewhere above her now, closer than before. Not police. Internal. Controlled. Victor Romano didn't call authorities. He sealed his house. Maya swallowed hard and looked around. The room was larger than she expected. Rows of machines. Linen carts stacked high. A single service door on the far wall, painted gray, a red sign above it. Authorized personnel only. Her heart hammered. She fumbled beneath her jacket and pulled out the phone. Her hands were shaking too badly to type. Turn on, she thought desperately. The screen lit up. Battery, 37%. Enough. She unlocked it and froze. No contacts. No apps. Just one thing. A single saved number. No name. Maya didn't think. She hit call. The phone rang once. Twice. A click. Talk. A man's voice said. Rough. Low. Alert. I don't know who you are, Maya whispered, backing toward the service door. But someone's trying to kill me. A pause. Then, that's not specific. I escaped Victor Romano, she said. Silence crashed down the line. Then a sharp breath. Where are you? Maya blinked. He hadn't asked how. He believed her. I think I'm in his building. Basement. Laundry. Stay where you are, the voice said immediately. Do not go outside. Footsteps pounded overhead. Too late. I can't, Maya whispered. They know. Another pause. Shorter this time. Door on the east wall, the voice said. Service corridor. There will be a blue line on the floor. Follow it. If you see men in black, run. Her pulse spiked. How do you know that? Because I built half of this place, he replied. And because Victor doesn't forgive. The call cut. Maya stared at the dark screen. Then the laundry room door banged open. Two men entered. Black clothes. Earpieces. Guns visible. They scanned the room fast. Professional. Maya ducked behind a linen cart, clamping a hand over her mouth as one of them passed close enough that she could smell cologne and gun oil. Elena, one of them muttered into his mic, we found blood. Maya's chest constricted. I'm sorry, she thought fiercely. The men moved deeper into the room. Maya bolted. She sprinted for the service door, shoulders screaming as she slammed through it, and into a narrow corridor lit by flickering fluorescence. Blue line. There. She ran. Footsteps thundered behind her now. Shouts echoed off concrete walls. Stop. She didn't. She followed the line around a corner and nearly crashed into a stack of crates. A hand shot out of the darkness and yanked her sideways. Maya screamed. A palm covered her mouth. Quiet, a voice hissed. Unless you want them to hear. She froze. The hand released. A man stepped into the light. Tall, broad-shouldered, dark hair pulled back, scar cutting through one eyebrow. His eyes were sharp, assessing her the way Victor's had, but with heat instead of ice. Victor's girl, he said softly. I'm not, Maya started. I know, he interrupted. That's why you're still breathing. Footsteps thundered past the corridor entrance. The man waited until the sound faded. Then he grabbed her wrist, not gently, but not cruelly, and pulled her forward. Move, he said. Before Victor realizes I took you. Her heart stuttered. Took me. He glanced back at her, mouth curving into a grim smile. Congratulations, he said. You just became a war. Above them, in the penthouse, Victor Romano stood very still. A phone pressed to his ear. They took her, a voice reported. Victor's jaw tightened. Slowly he smiled. Good, he said. That means I know where to aim. War has a price. She is about to learn hers. The underground garage roared to life around them. Engines. Echoing footsteps. A siren cut short mid-howl. The man dragged Maya between concrete pillars toward a black SUV idling near the exit. Her shoulder screamed with every step, but adrenaline kept her moving. Get in, he ordered. She didn't hesitate. The door slammed shut behind her just as gunfire cracked through the air. The SUV lurched forward. Maya ducked instinctively as bullets sparked against concrete behind them. Tires screamed. The car shot up the ramp and burst into the night. Only when the city swallowed them did she realize she was shaking. Hard. She pressed herself into the seat, breathing in sharp, shallow pulls. The man drove one-handed, eyes scanning mirrors, jaw set. "You're hurt," he said. "I'll live," Maya replied. Apparently, that's controversial. That earned her a short huff of laughter. "Name," she said. "If I'm a war now, I deserve at least that." He glanced at her. "Luca," he said. "And you're right." Silence settled between them, thick but different from Victor's silence. This one had edges. "You." "This," Maya said slowly. Luca's mouth tightened. "I planned contingencies," he corrected. "Victor planned to use you as bait. So Elena is brave," Luca cut in. "And probably in trouble." Maya's throat closed. "Because of me." "Because of Victor," Luca said sharply. "Don't let him rewrite reality in your head. That's his favorite trick." The words landed harder than he knew. They drove until the skyline thinned and the streets narrowed. Old buildings replaced glass towers. Luca pulled into a warehouse lot and killed the engine. "Safe house," he said. "For now." Inside, the space was dim but warm. Someone had been there recently. Fresh coffee smell, lights left on low. Maya sank onto a chair, exhaustion crashing over her. Luca crouched in front of her, examining her shoulder. "You'll need stitches." "Add it to the list," she muttered. He paused. "Victor will come," Luca said quietly. "He doesn't lose people. And he especially doesn't lose leverage." Maya met his eyes. "I don't belong to him." "No," Luca agreed. "You belong to yourself." That was the most dangerous thing she'd heard all night. Luca stood and moved toward a metal table, opening a folder thick with photos and documents. He slid one toward her. Maya's blood ran cold. It was Elena, leaving the building. 2 men behind her. A timestamp. "Tonight." "They won't kill her," Lucas said. "Not yet." "Because of me," Maya whispered. "Because of Victor," he repeated. "He collects people like debts." Maya's hands curled into fists. "Then we get her out." Lucas studied her. "You don't even know what you're stepping into." Maya looked at the photo again. At Elena's face turned slightly, unaware. "I do," she said. "I've been stepping into it since the moment I woke up." Luca exhaled slowly. "War," he said, "changes people." Maya stood, ignoring the pain. So does surviving. Across the city, Victor Romano poured himself a drink. "Neat. Expensive." He raised the glass, considering the skyline. "She chose the wrong side," he said softly. Then he smiled. "And I will make sure she lives long enough to regret it." The safe house didn't feel safe anymore. Maya had been awake for hours, sitting on the edge of a narrow bed, staring at a crack in the concrete wall like it might open and swallow her whole. Every sound made her flinch. The hum of electricity, the distant rumble of traffic, Luca's footsteps pacing somewhere beyond the door. She kept seeing Victor's smile. Not the wide grin. The knowing one. The one that said, "You're still mine." The door opened quietly. Luca stepped in, phone in hand, face drawn tight. "They found us," he said. Maya stood instantly. "Victor?" Luca nodded. "Not directly. Yet. One of his outer crews hit a warehouse 2 blocks from here. It's a message." Her chest tightened. "For me? For both of us?" Luca shoved the phone into his pocket and grabbed a jacket. "We have to move. Now." Maya followed him down the stairs, her pulse thudding in her ears. "Where are we going?" Luca didn't answer right away. Then, back toward him. She stopped short. "You said." "I said Victor doesn't lose leverage," Luca cut in. "And right now, Elena is leverage. Which means she's not dead. Yet," Maya whispered. Luca turned to face her fully. "If we run, he tightens the net. If we hide, he bleeds us out slowly. The only way this ends," he paused, jaw hard, "is if we force his hand." Maya swallowed. "You want to walk into the lion's den?" "No," Lucas said. "I want to remind the lion that he can bleed." They never made it to the car. The first shot shattered the streetlight above them. Glass rained down. "Down!" Lucas shouted. They hit the ground as bullets chewed into concrete. Maya screamed, crawling blindly as Luca fired back. Black SUVs poured into the street like oil spreading over water. Victor's men. Professional. Precise. Overwhelming. A hand grabbed Maya's arm and yanked her upright. She fought, kicked, clawed, screamed, but it didn't matter. A hood dropped over her head. Darkness swallowed her again. When the hood came off, warm light replaced the dark. Soft, golden, too calm. Maya knew where she was before she even saw him. The penthouse. Victor stood by the window, city glowing beneath him, exactly as before. As if nothing had changed. As if she hadn't tried to run. You really should stop losing consciousness, he said mildly. It makes you miss important moments. Maya was shoved forward. She stumbled, but didn't fall. Victor turned slowly and smiled. There it was. The grin. Did you enjoy your freedom? He asked. Her hands curled into fists. You murdered people to get me back. Victor tilted his head. No, I moved assets. There's a difference. You're insane. His smile widened. And yet, I'm still standing. And you're still here. He stepped closer, eyes locking onto hers. You broke a rule, he continued softly. Actually, you broke several. Maya lifted her chin. Then kill me. The room went very still. Victor studied her, something dark flickering behind his eyes. Oh, Maya, he said quietly. If I wanted you dead, you'd already be a memory. He leaned in, voice dropping. But now you've become interesting. Her stomach sank. Victor straightened and nodded to someone behind her. Bring her friend. The doors opened. Elena was pushed inside. Alive. Bruised. Terrified. Maya's breath shattered. Elena. Victor watched her reaction carefully. There it was. The truth. You see, Victor said calmly. Leverage only works when someone cares. Maya stepped forward instinctively, and two guards blocked her path. Victor's smile faded into something colder. Welcome back, he said. Part 2 is where things get personal.
What are your thoughts about this story? Write your comments on the comment section. Watch out for part 3. Like and subscribe for more videos like this. Thank you for watching.